is it possible for me to make a stupid decision and it create a lot of pressure in my life? Is that possible? Okay. I'm not talking about that stuff. Is it possible for me to make a stupid decision on purpose and it add a lot of pressure to my life? I know I shouldn't spend this money, but man, I really want to. And it adds a lot of financial pressure. I know that I shouldn't do this activity, but I do it. It leads to something that creates a lot of pressure. It's possible to do that. I'm not talking about that kind of pressure. I'm talking about just life. When you're doing everything right, Ashley, and still things happen. Okay? I'm talking about that kind of pressure. How we're going to respond to it. What if the storm was meant for a bigger purpose? What if, I'm on page 10 now, what if you were meant to do more than just survive the storm? What if the storm was actually a strategic tool used by the universe to shape us and mold us into the ultimate into the ultimate unique gift that we were designed to be? What if the storm was actually a good thing? Something that we could embrace. Okay, now what I'm doing is I'm beginning to challenge your thinking on difficulty and struggle. It'd be very easy, Amanda, for you to look at me and go, well, you're stupid, Clay.
It's definitely something.
Yeah, it's like, Clay talked about embracing this struggle. He doesn't understand my struggle. Yeah, I do. I do. I'm talking about embracing struggle. What if it were a good thing? Well, Clay, there is no way that this is a good thing. Okay, hold on to that because it's working, evidently. You know? Or I can be willing. I can be willing to try to look at it. The first step is always willingness. A lot of times people resist doing it because they don't know how to do it. And then you come up with a way of, well, I won't even go there. Okay, I'll make myself confused on that. For up to 16 to 20 years, we were taught, as I already said, a specific type of system. In Napoleon Hill, the next paragraph, in Napoleon Hill's book, The Lost Prosperity Secrets of Napoleon Hill, he refers to the great unseen hand as the universal force that guides us and directs us towards our eternal circumstances, okay, and towards growth. I felt this hand numerous times in my life. I know you guys have too. That pressure, that stress that's going on. Could it be possible that that is evidence of what Napoleon Hill calls the great unseen hand in your life? Orchestrating circumstances to mold you and shape you and form you. Could it be possible? Well, if it is, then maybe I need to take a moment and really take inventory on how I am responding to that unseen hand. Have you guys ever seen anybody do the pottery? Have you ever been to, like, Branson or anything like that and seen the person on the pottery? They put this big clump of clay on there. Well, the very first thing they do, how do they shape the thing? They get it spinning, first of all. Anybody ever felt like life spinning? Yeah. Mm-hmm. They get life spinning. But then they put pressure on it. It's the pressure that forms it. No pressure, no formation. Any light bulb just go off? Isn't it? Good stuff. I tell you, every now and then it comes out of my mouth. It's the pressure that forms it. But if the clay that was sitting on the thing said, no, do not apply any pressure, then you're just going to go around and around and around and around and around in circles. Anybody know what I'm talking about there? You're just going around the same stuff over and over and over again. It's the pressure that brings the formation. This great unseen gives us clues throughout nature that are very visible if we have eyes to see. Here's the learning system. This is what I talk about in the book here that I'm going to give to you guys. The first step is to prepare the soil. Second step is sow seeds. Number 3 is nurture and care. Number 4 is prune and shape. And finally, number 5, we harvest the fruit. But again, over here in the way we have learned to learn is, if I cram tonight, then tomorrow I'll be able to produce fruit. It just doesn't work. Or again, if Amanda's really hacking me off, I get her a Christmas present, all right? Here's a book, or here's something for you to look at tonight, so tomorrow you don't hack me off as much. It just doesn't work that way. I know you guys have never done that. I tend to do those things, okay? Where I want somebody to change, so I'm just going to give you a good talking to, Ashley. And tomorrow it's going to be different. No, it's not. It takes time. Growth is a process. It's not an event. Although there will be events along the way, growth is a process, to your point that you were talking about earlier. This system enlists much more than just a classroom. Life becomes your school. Love that. Life becomes your school. Time management is trying to teach you. Relationships with other people is trying to teach you. Marriage, work, children, obeying the law. You know, dealing with other people. All of that becomes your school. All of a sudden you begin to walk through life and you begin to discover that, man, if I can learn from everything as I'm walking throughout my life. And next thing you know, you feel like, you know, Yoda walking through life and everything, because you're just recognizing all of these opportunities to learn and grow. Whereas before, we were just kind of stuck in survivor mode. I'm just trying to get to this place of comfort. And all of these things out here that are meant to help me learn are actually things that are trying to knock me out of comfort. And so I set up this adversarial relationship against them. Does that make sense? You okay with that? Let's stop for just a moment. What are you guys hearing? Is there anything sinking in? Is there any aha? Is there anything that you're thinking is going to be workable for you? And if there is, rather than just going yes, what would be something that you're hearing so far?
I agree that the pressure forms you. The storm, I mean, for me, was going through my divorce, because I was just like, I was young, and I was like, we're not doing this. No, like, I'm not going to accept the fact that this is what you want to do. No.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And then finally when I did, and now I'm like, oh man, I look back and I'm like, it's a great idea. Like, you know, I learned a lot from it. I've grown a lot from it. And I'm like,
don't ever want to do it again.
Yeah. Like,
but we've learned a lot from it.
And so I'm like, that pressure did form me a lot. And
Yeah.
and grew up a lot. So.
Yeah, I have the same experience. Learned a ton.
Yeah.
I look back at it, I've learned to embrace the thing. Man, that was very important for me to go through. I don't ever want to do that thing again, you know? But I've come to value it for what I learned. But that can be hard, you know? It can be hard to get to that place. Fantastic. One other person. What are you hearing so far?
If you're waiting for, you just need to be patient with yourself, and that's really hard to do.
Oh yeah.
Like with your personal growth and really anything else, just be patient, because it's not something, like you said, overnight.
Yeah.
I wrote that down. Growth is a process, not an event.
Cool. Do you guys know the secret to patience? I mean, I can give you the answer to patience right here, right now. I can tell you how right now how you can have patience.
All right, let's hear
Be
it.
patient.
Okay? Yeah, just do it. Yeah. No. No. Yeah. But here it is. Okay? Here is the answer. I guarantee every single time, this is all it takes to be patient. Perspective. Bam! Perspective. Perspective will always lead to patience. How do I gain perspective?
Go ahead.
It all comes back to how you think. Thoughts lead to feelings, lead to beliefs, lead to actions, lead to results. Patience is just a matter of perspective. The reason why I'm impatient in this situation is because I'm thinking it needs to happen now. I want it to happen now because my emotions, I'm uncomfortable with something and I don't want to feel uncomfortable with something. So my goal becomes, don't be uncomfortable with this.
It happens a lot at home. Josh has a lot of patience, and when I'm ready to do something or I want the kids to be doing something, and he's just do, and I'm like, what are you doing?
You are killing me.
Yeah. And then he says how he's feeling, and I'm like, oh, and I just can feel myself calming back down.
If
because
I can
wouldn't
adopt
thought about it
that
way.
perspective,
Yeah.
I can have there's a little bit more air in the room.
Yeah.
You know? But I guarantee, guys, every single time, patience is just a matter of perspective. It's all it is. It's just a matter of perspective. But how do I get that perspective? I learn how to think in certain situations. And it sounds really hard. At the beginning it might be, but over time, you will learn how to think under pressure. Therefore, you will be able to be patient under pressure, which is huge. Life is so much better when you can do that. But again, how many of you guys know that, oh, I finally learned how to do it. This is awesome. I finally learned how to have perspective when situations happen in my life. I'm finally doing it, and then all of a sudden life does that to you. Ah! You know? Life expands your circle. Why? Because life is trying to increase your capacity to process greater complexity. So now you can have patience in a greater measure, with more pressure, with more types of people, with more types of situations. Ah, man, finally, I'm able to do it. It's great. Life is wonderful. I feel patient. I feel all balanced, and everything's great. Here it comes again. You know, does that make sense? Because you are being made into something. You are being formed into something. It's not just figured out by the time you're 27 and then coast for the rest of the time. No, it just keeps coming. I have found that these events in my life, because I've been alive long enough now, these events in my life happen about every 5 years. I just plan on it. Like clockwork, going all the way back to when I was 5 years old. Event. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Wait, there's a pattern here. You know, it's funny when I do this with 20-year-olds. They just haven't been alive long enough to find any pattern going on in their life. But once you get up to 50, you've put some patterns together. You've been able to see some cycles happening. So every 5 years, every 13 years, tectonic plate shift in my life. I mean, huge things go on in my life. One of those cycles of 13, hello Clay, I'm leaving you, my wife. That was when a 13 converged with a 5. Isn't it something?
It is.
But all of a sudden, because I'm seeing that, I'm able to have perspective when things are going on. It's like, okay, I'm 51 right now. Had a huge event go on in my life when I turned 50. Okay, when I turned 50, when I was 50 years old, the event in my life, I became a millionaire. These aren't always negative things, okay? When I turned 30 was when I got the phone call from my now ex-wife. When I turned 50, I became a millionaire. I'm 51 now. Guess who's excited about 55? Because I know something big is going to go on. And so I'm not trying to cram everything in here in 51. I am at a pace. I'm able to be patient with life. Clay, you need to do this next. Clay, you need to do this. You need to do this. Well, hold on. I need to be here for about 5 years and grow to a place where I'm going, okay, this feels good. I'm able to do it. I like this. 5 years. Are you kidding me? You can't do this for 5 years. You can barely do it for 5 minutes. But we learn a pace because of the perspective. Does that make sense? Okay?